it's not a perfect score.
But it gets you the mark. So, okay,
Right, so
game 1 in this best of 3 series will be played on ESOC, Arizona, between Knuschelbär and LordRaphael. It's going to be an Iroquois mirror, and looks like Knusch spawning in the north of the map in the color green, and LordRaphael will be in the south in the color red.
interesting. I saw the players were trying to. They're doing like the civ picking game, and they ended up settling on an Iroquois mirror. I think LordRaphael is another player who's pretty comfortable mirroring other players, because he's one of the best players certainly, and he sort of knows it.
Yeah, this is
as a little. They settled on the mirror of Iroquois of every civ because they're not a civ that tends to see a lot of play. But
yeah, and I don't think that people would say that either of these players are like known for their Iroquois play. Of course, having like a main civ is not really like crucial to playing well with it, but I don't know, like I guess like how often have these players played this matchup? I guess Iroquois was, of course, the best civ on RE, and so for a while in tournaments back then, there would be a lot of Iroquois mirrors, and so these are both sort of older players. They played the game for a long time, and so you know I'm sure that they're familiar with how this sort of is supposed to play out. But of course, things are a little different on EP. The civ got reworked just a little bit, but nonetheless, it looks like both players going for TP, but Knusch is going to find that this is already taken by LordRaphael.
I guess a little bit unlucky if he was going for the trading post, and he is gathering wood for it.
Yeah.
I think he even noticed it because
yeah,
that happened right there.
He tried to place it,
and it up, and then
he's gonna miss an entire pass of. He might even miss 2 passes of XP to LordRaphael. Or I mean, he might have 0 passes of XP to LordRaphael's too, because LordRaphael is gonna get this. The Travois should start over here pretty soon. Yep, there it goes in the black of the map. Just walking on nothing. It's sort of some sort of divine creature, and now it makes its appearance onto the map. Gives his XP to Raphael, and I don't know if Knusch is going to get this up in time. I think he will.
Oh, okay.
So lag.
Yeah, a little bit of lag. I'll probably
I don't know what the hell he wants me to do about it. So.
I think my roommate is still playing the game. And then maybe for the next series, if Ryan is available, he can come in because I know he's coming in to cast.
Sure. Yeah, I can solo cast. We'll see if it's better or not. Maybe it's not. Because I am on different internet than I normally am. Although this internet is technically better than what I was on, but there are more users. The bandwidth is a little more heavily used. So, anyways, LordRaphael is whittling down Knuschelbär's Explorer hit points, and I think he's going to kill it, which is going to be huge 100 XP.
Kill it, which is yeah.
I mean, that's like a...
I mean, the Iroquois...
Yeah?
The war chiefs are very valuable, right? They're not like the explorers or even the monks. They're something that you don't really want to lose if you can help it.
Yeah, and I mean...
Yeah, huge special.
It's like...
Especially the Iroquois one.
It's like all of that time that LordRaphael spent killing this explorer was essentially like the time it took to take a 100 XP treasure. And in return, also, Knuschelbär is not on the map to collect any sort of treasure. So Raphael kind of has like free reign for anything that's left that's good. Which is not a whole lot. There's, I guess, 75 coin, 60 food, a medicine man, which is kind of worthless, 60 XP. Perhaps the one thing is this native scout, which has already been scouted, but I think Raphael's just going to take these sort of smaller resource treasures. Just kind of help speed his build up a bit. One thing to note that I didn't notice is that Knuschelbär aged a villager early, and as a result, he's going to be up about 20 seconds sooner or so. And both players are aging with Fast Age and the Travois. So.
Interesting choice there. I guess it looks like Knuschelbär is going to go pretty aggressive right now, putting this war hut right up on the next trading post. Maybe not like right up in Raphael's face, but still pretty aggressive there.
Yeah, and I kind of like
Securing
this.
the trading post as well. Yeah.
It gives him sort of more line of sight on the maps because the middle of the map is obstructed by this sort of cliff, and on the right side of the cliff he has mostly line of sight from the trading post, and on the left now he has war hut line of sight. So it gives him kind of like a good center in the middle of the map, kind of like in chess, you know, you got your two middle pawns, I guess. So that's what he's going to do, and he shipped for Kanye, so he's going kind of for an aggressive build order. Whereas Raphael put his war hut down in his base, so he's kind of in a more defensive position. There are 4 trading posts on this map, so players can think about trying to go for a stagecoach build. And 4 Kanyas of Raphael's own. Both players are just going to... Yeah, I think...
Yeah.
Both players are just going to try to kind of raid. Although Raphael is getting good engagement here. He's gonna lose his Explorer, but I mean he's gonna pick off all these horsemen for nearly nothing. And
it looks like he's getting 3 for basically no HP off.
Yeah, and now the 4 hyenas that he made and the 7 that he shipped are just completely worthless. So this is pretty good for Raphael. And he's gonna pick off the Knuschelbär's Explorer himself.
Sent Knuschelbär went for the 7 hyena, whereas LordRaphael went for 600 wood. So I think Raphael's feeling pretty comfortable right now. He's not feeling a lot of pressure. He's going to be able to ship the crates rather than the units, and he's still going to be at a military advantage.
Yeah, for sure. Knuschelbär did hit the 500 food big button from the town center, or however much food it is for the 5 tomahawks. So he's had a bit of an infantry timing here since he shipped 7, but the thing is, Raphael can just sort of back off from this. And he's gonna lose an hyena, but maybe 2. It's not the end of the world here though. And he shipped 7 hyena of his own. So is he just gonna kind of go for this? I don't know.
I kind of right. The tomahawks are gonna get picked off pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I suppose so. And these hyena...
Yeah, they misrallied a little bit.
Yeah, the 7 hyena are not joining the fight, which they kind of need to right now, if he wants to pick this up. Hasn't noticed it yet. So he's just going to back off. And all things are pretty even. I mean, militaries are pretty even. Recalculated economic populations are even. The one thing is, like you mentioned, Raphael's managed to sneak in the 600 wood, which Knuschelbär has not. So it's going to give him a sort of kind of better timing in a few minutes from now. And actually, killing those...
So now Raphael's explored. Oh yeah, there's not a lot of tomahawk.
No, I mean, like, just having these 4 Kanye live when Knuschelbär's died is just paying off huge dividends. He resuscitates his Explorer quicker, and he's able to chase down this green army, and he's getting really nice trades from here. This is one of the things that Raphael does pretty well when I've watched him play, is that he really knows when to push the agenda, and he's very good at continuing to chase down reinforcing units and batches, and knowing when he's allowed to do that. And he gains sort of small advantages that he just really exploits.
Yeah, did great there. He got a villager and is shipping 5 of his own, and he's going to have full map control, so he's going to be able to siege down this trading post if he wants to, or at least put pressure on it. Whereas Knuschelbär, units there, he didn't lose the game outright, but he lost a lot of tomahawk for not a lot of great trades. The Kanya of Raphael have done wonders for him right now.
Yeah, they're huge. And as a result, he's in a hyena lead at the moment too, and he's trained a few Kanye of his own, which he can afford to do.
Kanye's in. Yeah.
Kanye West. I meant to say that whole game. That was my mistake.
I kept hearing Kanye from you a couple times.
So yeah, GG's called. LordRaphael takes this a lead 1-0 in this best of 3. Pretty huge, just winning that Kanye fight at the beginning of the game. Kanye. And then as a result, he could just win all the infantry fights from there on out.
So I think Raphael just showed that he still is one of the best players in the world. He played that pretty much as well as it could have gone.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a fault with his play anywhere.
Yeah, that was really tight game.
I think, yeah, we're still in the best of 3, so we're going into game 2 pretty soon.
That's correct. And the map will be, let me see here. Mendocino, because Malaysia and Alaska were vetoed.
What is it? Arizona, Mendocino, and then Contact is maybe the last map?
Yeah, and then Grand Chaco, yeah.
How many maps are we talking about here?
There are 5 maps, but Alaska and Malaysia were vetoed.
Yeah, I was mixing this. I thought Mido versus Tit might have been the semifinals, but clearly it wasn't.
Yeah, this is the semifinals. So, and then the winner of this series will go on to face the winner of Tit and Kaiserklein.
Oh, Kaiser, nice.
Which I can only assume is occurring on ESOC TV 2 at the moment.
Casted, I believe, by the wonderful B winner. I don't know if there's anybody else co-casting with him, but
yeah, I don't know either.
if you're bored of us,
gonna ask him about lag here before we get in game and players start.
It might be worthwhile if I just hop out. Okay. I know Ryan is. I think he's playing Overwatch right now, but he can come probably.
I think Ryan's slotted for the finals, but I can also just like solo cast the next 2 games or next 1 or 2 games. And, yeah.
If there's only a max 2 games, I don't think there's too much of an issue.
Yeah, sure.
With me just heading out. All right, thanks very much, everybody. Sorry about the lag, and Ryan will be coming in pretty soon. Yep. See you.
Yep, see you, Duck. Okie doke. So, it is just me here. SirCallen, I'm going to solo cast the rest of this series until Ryan hops in for the finals. I'm not sure who he's casting the finals with, but that's always a treat. Get commentary from one of the best players to have ever played the game, as well as just a pretty good caster. So look forward to that. I think we're gearing up to a pretty exciting series finals. It's going to be likely between, well, it's going to be either involve Raphael, Knuschelbär, Kaiser, or Tit, and all those players are of high quality, will provide some fun and entertaining games. So the map is Mendocino here in game 2 of this best of 3. Raphael chooses to lock India, and Knuschelbär pretty quickly switches to Dutch. So looks like that's going to be the matchup. I guess this is probably a pretty standard EP matchup. India economically has been buffed from RE, whereas Dutch, although banks do cost 350 resources, they do give you more experience on EP. And of course, EP maps tend to favor Dutch in itself. I'm looking at map balance. This is going to be kind of tough to call, but both players have 3 hunts, right? They both have their starting hunt, and then the 2 deers. Knuschelbär's is a bit further away, and then both players' 4th hunt kind of lies in the crevice of these things, 5th hunts are on the TP lines, and then the 6th hunt is split directly between them. So it looks strange that Knuschelbär doesn't have a hunt here, but I think it's fair. He can herd this one in, as well as his pronghorn, and he has a starting hunt here. The starting hunt is actually not very big. This is important to know. There's only like 5 deer for both players, but I'm going to call this map fair. Yep. So India is starting up with the trading post. I'm not a huge India player, so I don't really know if this is meta or not, but I'm assuming it was either food or wood start. We don't see any coin crate, so pretty good start for India. Actually, I think it has to be a wood start for India in order to build this trading post. And I hope Raphael hasn't missed this food crate. I don't see how he would. It shows up on this side of his town center. I think it's possible that he just needs to chop as much wood as he can right now in order to get his house up and everything, not to get popped, and to get villagers going, that he just chooses not to gather, in which case that is awfully smart. We got a bit of a sound bug here. That's kind of unfortunate. Pretty much the only thing you're going to be hearing in this game is my voice. I guess you hear a little bit of the Explorer stuff. So Knuschelbär picked up 90 food. It's going to potentially speed up his age up, and he's just shipped his shipment, which I assume is 3 villagers. In fact, it has to be at sea. No, never mind. He can ship those other 2, but 3 villagers is on the way for the Dutch player, and Raphael is a pretty standard looking deck himself too. 10 Tiger Claws. This is sort of the thing that you look for when you're searching India players' decks, because as we can see in Mito versus Tit, I mean, 10 Tiger Claws can be sort of swingy shipment. For 500 coin, it definitely gives you a lot. So you definitely need to be wary of this if you're playing versus India. So I would expect to see Knuschelbär check out that deck at some point. And Raphael is picking up this 70 food, so that's also going to speed up his age up time. Unfortunately, though, unless he can... Okay, he gets away from the snare, so he doesn't lose an elephant. And so far, age 1 has been split pretty evenly. Raphael, 80 XP, Knuschelbär, 80 coin, 90 food. Knuschelbär has gotten 80 coin and 90 food and 60 food, so actually I think he's going to have a really quick age up. He's clicking up around 245. I guess actually 15 villagers, that's pretty standard. I thought maybe he could age a villager early, but sometimes aging a villager early is not even all that great for Dutch, because they have difficulty getting their bank up and enough coin for villager sometimes, I think. 100 coin, of course, ready when they hit age up, so that's one of the things I've struggled with as Dutch, personally. Perhaps better players are a little better at that. Knuschelbär is picking up this native scout. That's going to be helpful. It's not early enough to sort of try to block any sort of mid-map wonder, which it looks like he's being wary of with his envoy. Of course, India kind of places their wonder around the 3-minute mark if they don't do some sort of 10-10. So I think Knuschelbär knows that there's no wonder in mid-map because he had his envoy there. And so he wants to check to see if it's going to be like an end-based Carney, which it is, and he sees. And so I think he knows that he can play pretty greedy on his end as well. One of the things I think would be interesting, it's hard to do these sort of proxy strategies versus Dutch because they do have an envoy to scout with, but what if you did an end-based Carney and you sort of managed to sneak a vill, you know, at one of these 2 places, build a stable, train like 5 Soyars to kind of raid while the Dutch player's just only making banks. But it's probably not great because idling Dutch, you're not actually idling the banks, so it's sort of only half effective. And as well, you have to sacrifice a lot of resources to get a villager over here and build all that. So I'm just mostly talking to myself now. I've been really enjoying like proxy stable strategies, so that's kind of fun to think about. But the Dutch player has aged. He's got his 1 bank. And he's collected the wood for another bank, but he hasn't built it yet. I assume that's coming here. Yep, there it goes. And there's actually a pretty interesting thread on ESOC lately about building times and how much time each villager takes off building, and there's opportunity costs involved with the villagers not gathering resources while they build. And of course for banks there's opportunity costs of it not being built sooner. And I think kind of the most efficient way to get your bank up pretty quick is with 4 villagers. You sort of minimize everything involved in terms of the banks gathering resources quickly and the villagers getting back on resources quickly. So that could be something to keep in mind if you are a player who sort of pays attention to those minor details. It's not game winning in itself by any means, but it definitely doesn't hurt to pay attention to details and sort of, you know, sort of do those little things, because it just helps make you a better player. So, alright, let's look at the builds. Sorry. Wow, so LordRaphael did good faith agreements, which consulate armies and improvements arrive faster, and they're cheaper as well. So, looks like he's built a consulate and he's teched it to France. So he's going to get those France crates, those wood crates at 614, as well as his market upgrades have been. He's teched all of his market upgrades, so he's going for a pretty greedy build here, and 300 export as well. So now he sent the gold French crates as well. This villager is low HP, kind of a bothersome move by Knuschelbär. I would be surprised if Raphael doesn't notice. Yep, there he garrisons it. The thing is, he has to be careful with it now because he can't necessarily ungarrison it, because Knuschelbär can retask his explorer there. Meanwhile, an end-base racks for Knuschelbär, as well as a stable. He's going to train 5 Hussars. These do get scouted actually by the elephants. This is very kind of nice for Raphael, and there is a Raxen for himself. If we look at units in queue, Seaboy, yep. And Knuschelbär is actually training skirmishers, so you have to wonder if he's going for some sort of, he must be going for some sort of timing, because he also trained 5 pikemen and is sieging the trading post. So I actually kind of like this move from Knuschelbär. He's not letting India get away with this totally greedy build, adding in a second trading post as well. The thing is with these, it's actually kind of quite nice that these elephants scattered these Hussars, because it's given Raphael time to react. And this villager is on garrison with 12 HP. It wouldn't take this explorer all that long to kill it. Nonetheless, so 5 skirmishers are coming out, and more Seaboy are in queue for Raphael. You have to think that Dutch doesn't want to stay H2 for too long, because if you give India time to get their infrastructure set up, if he gets his stable and he gets those Soars and Gurkhas out, he's just compositionally going to be much better than Knuschelbär. And actually, India is aging up before Dutch in this matchup, which is kind of interesting. And he just doesn't really have an answer to these 5 skirms at the moment, but 5 skirms by themselves don't really pose any sort of significant threat. And oh, Knuschelbär, he's trying to get in here, is just kind of losing cavalry for free. The slow HP villager is still alive. The skirmishers are going to be onto the Seaboy, but one of the elephants comes in, kind of tanks, slows him down a bit, and actually it looks like Raphael's just going to chase this with the snaring Minutemen. Do those snare? I think they do, yeah. But a little sloppy, 2 Seaboy hanging back. I'd expect to see some Gurkha in queue for Raphael, but he's currently popped. Shipment sending, he sent the second large trickle, and Dutch is sending 700 coin, it looks like, to age up. Or no, he's still just massing. He's got, oh, okay, no, never mind. He's aging and he's massing, so. Actually, this timing is done pretty decently for Knuschelbär. What am I trying to look? Units lost. That's his first villager that's gone down. So Raphael has done a decent job trying to mitigate this pressure, but he has lost his 2 trading posts. He's lost, he's used both sets of Minutemen, and he's lost 4 Sepoy. But Knuschelbär has lost all of his cavalry, so... I don't know, I guess a pretty... kind of an even trade. Knuschelbär loses more resources, but he does kill the 2 trading posts. And both players are going to find themselves up in age. Roughly equal economic populations. Another barracks coming down for Raphael. And are we going to see the split? Nope, no split there. That's okay. So, let's look at units in queue again. Skirmreuter for the Dutch player. These pikemen are going to come up, just kind of siege a house. And actually, I don't know, with these 4 stars on the field and no Minutemen, I don't know if Knusch can challenge this. So he is going to lose that house. Is he going to lose a... He's going to lose another villager, too. Oh, and he picks off that other one with his skirmish. 3 villagers right there. That was really huge. And a 4th. I really like this build from Knusch. This has been a very nice timing. He can easily back off now. He has enough units to defend this. I don't like pushing this here, but he's gonna just keep meeting aggressive, and I guess he can. And he's actually, wow, this is pretty impressive. He's just kind of slamming everything in here. He's sort of forcing Raphael to just sort of kind of, you know, play this sort of aggro in-your-face style. 7 Zams do come out though, and that's going to shut down all of these Hussars. And oh, it just didn't pay off. This Mount Hout is still alive. It's going to clean up all the skirmishers. I think Knusch needed to go back. When that Mount Hout was chasing him, he just needed to retreat. He could still hold it off, and he had just shipped 1k wood, so he was kind of set up to play this this economically focused age 3 after having just killed 4 villagers. I think you just go back and you just say, I'm content with this. I did enough damage. Let's not press my luck too far, you know. I don't know if he... No, he wasn't trying to pick off that low HP one. He just kind of misrallied a skirmisher. But, so as a result, we see Raphael ahead in military and behind in economy. So I think he has time to press the agenda here. He's just laying down his first stable, though. I think he definitely wants that up so he doesn't lose to some sort of Hussar timing. And 1k food comes down for the Dutch player, so I actually kind of like this build order, especially because he is Hussar now in queue. And Raphael is housed again, so he's laying another one down. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but if we look at the infrastructure for both players, well, if we look at text completed, alright, so the Dutch player did eventually get placer mines and steel traps. Pretty early time too. That's very good for him. Meanwhile, Raphael has... Oh, he's researched the 2 surgeons from the British consulate, and he's going to repair his Mount Hout. That's huge. I mean, this thing is a 1200 HP tank with a lot of potential damage too. So and his monks heal it. So I like this move a lot by Raphael. He's just getting much more value for his units. A few Reuters are going to come here for a raid, and they are going to pick off this low HP villager. Now he should just leave. He should just... Oh, he gets a second one. Okay, that's very clutch. He's pathing kind of the wrong way. He's going to lose a few units for free, but I think for 2 villagers, that's worth it. It's only a few Reuters. Very nice play from Knusch. Very smart. I didn't even see the second low HP villager, so big hats off to him for finding that. Meanwhile, Knusch is shipping 8 skirmishers now, and some unit shipments coming out of Raphael too. He's banking a decent amount of resources. I think that's mostly just from shipping 1,000 food, though. I don't think he's going to age. It'd certainly be incredibly risky against this mass. I think he's just going to keep teching. If we look at all units, we have 29 skirmishers to 39 Gurkhas, and these are Gurkhas with Mansavar in them, so they're actually going to trade much better than than the Dutch skirmishers, who don't have infantry combat yet. So 21 attack, 164 hit points to 144 hit points, and only 18 attack. But I mean, this Huss switch is coming in now. There's a lot of Zams here. He's focusing the Mansabar Zam. The Zams are getting pretty good position on the Huss. The trees are blocking the Huss as well. The Mauhaut goes down. You just can't really push into this with the trees with the Huss, I don't think. Minutemen are being called for Knuschelbär. Actually, all the Zams are down. There's only 3 left, 2 left, and there are still 4 Hussars left, and 3 more joining the fray. These are all veteran Hussars. Wow, this is just going to clean up. The Minutemen did literally nothing, but that's okay. Thought that counts, and all these Hussars are still on these Gurkha. Even putting the Reuters in the melee mode to snare. And but 2 Mauhauts. These Reuters have to get out and stay alive right now, or else this could end badly. He's got to take him to the back. He can't let these get DPS down at all. There's 8 more Huss coming, but is it going to be enough? He's got to sack some. Oh, put the Minutemen on the Mauhaut. He's fine. This Mauhaut's dead, and now there are more Hussars. So actually, this trade was okay. Raphael really has to micro these Zams back. He can't let these Zams die for anything. That's the key to these sort of fights. You have to keep your Zams alive, and he's doing his best at that. He's trying to keep them back as far as he can. They can sometimes obstruct skirm pathing, which they are, and there are enough Huss here that they're going to snare all of these Gurkhas, and these Zams are just not enough, and they're so weak that these skirmishers are just picking them off. Good micro from Knuschelbär. He has a shipment to send, just sent it, and 9 Reuters on the way. So some sort of Mauhaut pop is not going to be enough, and Raphael is in danger, and he's calling GG. So that ties the series up 1-1 to for both players. Knuschelbär taking the second game, and pretty exciting series so far. Yeah, he just did a really nice job with that sort of H2 timing. Put Raphael under a lot of pressure, and he still even had a timing in H3, just because India takes so long to sort of get going, that he was able to pick off several low villagers that he'd left over, and outgathered as well. This is where I was a little afraid for him. He lost all those units kind of for nothing to that Mauhaut, but the Dutch economy with the 1k wood scales so well, he was able to remass really well, and the addition of the Huss was really well done. So, on to the final game. So the final map will be Grand Chaco. I'm actually going to look this up on the ESO community website, because they give you sort of information about the maps and the mini-maps, and I'm kind of not too familiar with this one. It's a no TP map. Looks like there's some livestock, about 4 couples, so 8 in total. And the natives are 2P, and the mercs are pistoleros and pirates. 2 mines and bays, decent hunts, all of the above. So pretty standard no TP map, I think. Civ like China would be good with the addition of livestock. Brit, I haven't casted any matches with Brit yet today. They're still a good Civ despite the 5 wood increase to mana cost. You know, lots of options there. Lots of options. France is still good Civ on no TP maps. Dutch and India are kind of out for both players, I think. Actually, I may be getting a little confused, but we'll see what they go for. once I get into their game. Actually, I'm going to restart for sound. I don't know if I'd sound bug that game or not, but I'd be sure to get it. No. Oh, if you're reading this text, my game has crashed. That must be old. I'm just restarting. I don't know why I put that up there. Was I afraid my game was gonna crash? Or I think I used this obs channel when I did my lame, just like the lamest world record lobby thing.
You there, Callan?
Yeah, what's up?
Hold on, I'm just hopping on.
Okay. I don't know if the players want a second caster this game because Raphael was saying it was still kind of laggy.
We can test it. If they don't, I totally get it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to create the best experience for the lovely ESOC community. And also, solo casting's annoying.
Yeah,
It
can be, yeah.
Yeah, it's just draining. So I'm on. If
all right, we'll get this set up then.
Okay.
I don't have Knuschelbär in my friends list, but
am I coming in okay?
yeah, sounds good on my end. I think I'll turn you up just a little bit. Actually, it's probably
wonderful.
Probably a little low on the stream.
Yeah. So give me a brief fill-in. I was at the gym. What happened?
So the tournament's kind of shaken out interesting. We've had some upsets. What was I going to say? Tabin beat Dictator, which is kind of interesting.
That is very interesting.
Tit beat Mido 2-0 in their best of 3. And so far,
wow.
Yeah, and so far Raphael and Knuschelbär's tied 1-1. So Raphael has could go down here. And I don't know how the Tit versus Kaiserklein series is going, but
Tit seemed to be playing well today.
Yeah, it seems so too. I played him. He took me out first round, so. Although,
he played. I think I even casted it. He played I Am Soldier, right?
Yeah, and he won that one.
Yeah, that India game.
Yeah.
He handled that very well.
So I think we're just waiting for Knuschelbär to get out of the game.
Okay. I don't see the game to join though.
Yeah, it's not open.
Just making sure. I need more coffee. That's what I need.
Yeah, I've been drinking it like crazy today. So. I just
like decaf. I just want to drink all coffee all the time.
It tastes good. Sure.
It's amazing. My last co-caster didn't like coffee, and it broke my heart.
Silly.
Yeah, Chrissy does not like coffee, and apparently says he doesn't even like water either. He just drinks soda.
Well, he doesn't even like water?
That's what he said. He said he doesn't like water or coffee or tea. He just drinks soda mostly.
Interesting.
I don't know how he's alive.
Yeah.
That's the real question.
I'm with you there.
Or even has teeth. What were the matchups?
Let's see. For this series, the game one was an Eero Mirror, which Raphael won that pretty well, actually.
Interesting.
And then this next game was Dutch versus India, which of course Knuschelbär won with Dutch.
Yeah.
So I actually liked his build and his decision making that game. Nush's played out really
well.
Now,
is Dutch? I know I think they changed the banks again, right?
Yeah.
For EP.
So
go ahead.
I mean, the banks are back to 350 food and wood, but they do give you more experience than on RE.
Okay. So they're not as Dutch was that top tier 1v1s for a
Yeah.
while, and now they're a little more balanced.
Yeah, I think so. Dutch was considered pretty strong. There might still be, the jury might still be out on that, whether 350 was a good change or not.
Yeah.
Of course, Dutch can build that 5th bank, which they couldn't on RE without the cards. So I don't know. I guess
Maybe
we'll
they
have
just
to see.
Maybe they should just lower the hit points on banks. That might be
That might be.
because like part of the reason it's so good is just you don't want to sit in the base, under TC fire for so long, sieging a 4,000 hit point building.
Yeah.
Maybe if you reduce them down to 3,000 hit points, it could create some interesting play, but then reduce their cost as well.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. It's tough to say.
I don't know. I'm not Mankel. I wouldn't know.
I actually don't even know. I don't think my. What are you saying?
I was saying I'm just a pleb. I'm a half decent caster and a very below average player.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay.
Oh, I enjoy the game as much as anybody else. All right,
Yeah.
see the game is up here.
That's what counts. All right, perfect. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna add Knuschelbär to my friends list. If I can spell it. I think it's like.
Does he have the German letter in there or no?
I don't think on ESO he does. Knuschelbär. I added it. Must be some other account because it's offline.
Are the players okay with me joining the cast?
We're gonna see. We're gonna do that lag test and then
Okay.
check it out. So. They don't seem very keen. He's not opening a slot. Yeah, nice move, Raph.
We'll just ask them, and if they don't want me, I will gladly go away.
They at the moment it looks like they don't want anyone. So
They don't want anyone. They want to just do it by themselves.
yeah, I'm getting yeah, I'm getting stonewalled. Raph's not replying to the PM.
Okay, well, I'll just stay on here until the game starts, and then I'll just fade away.
Sure.
Because maybe they might have a last-minute change of heart.
Yeah.
I can dream.
They're in game. So,
They're in
wonderful communication on behalf of the players. Apologies to the viewers. Looks like we aren't going to see the deciding game in the semifinals. So I'm just going to put up an overlay and we'll see. Oh, I think they were just doing a lag test, perhaps. He's out of game now. Well, it's me.
I think that.
Well, that's not surprising, I guess.
I could understand them not wanting a second caster, but to have no casters on a deciding match when both games were already played in the same conditions.
Yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't make sense.
I don't know. I need an admin to say something. So
yeah, we need an adult.
Yeah, I'm messaging Comic Cat.
Our Lord and Savior, Comet K. Do you think we'll get any Age of Empires 4 news today?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Is this the first day of E3 starts June 12th? Or
well, Ida Holland said E3 in 50 minutes. I'm going purely off of Ida Holland.
Okay, I didn't think that they'd start on a Sunday, but we'll see.
But since we have some downtime.
Yeah, I mean,
what would you like? Yeah,
Sorry.
What would you like to see in Age 4?
Mostly that it still exists, that it's still
That's
in the works.
honestly what I would like to see as well. That the game gets made and that it isn't Age of Empires Online.
Yeah. I really like Age of Empires 3, of course. It has like a pretty unique feel for an RTS with the shipments.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm worried that in AoE4 they're going to step away from that dynamic system and go more towards the safe kind of AoE2, but I mean, AoE2 is another RTS I had a lot of fun with.
I think what they should do is keep the flavor of AoE3, but modernize it. I mean, we want to appeal to the majority of players. The most of us that play an 11-year-old game obviously love exactly the way it is for the most part.
Yeah.
So we want to entice more people to enjoy the game and more people to have fun with it. So I don't mind a change for the sake of, I don't want to say approachability. I just don't want it dumbed down. I still want the game to be hard. I still want the game to be, about skill and not about,
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be, an APM fest like StarCraft, which is just all about how fast you can click, essentially. And just way too overwhelming for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think that if it happens, I don't think it'll be an APM fest, just because that's never really been like an Age of Empires.
No, they're more about strategy. They're more about creating layers upon layers of things to be deciphered and whatever. Not for nothing, LordRaphael's game is up, so I don't know if you have to get permission from your boss or whatever.
I think we're gonna cast it, but I think we're gonna solo cast just to sort of minimize whatever lag there's gonna be.
Okie dokie.
Although I am actually getting failed to join, so I'll message him. So yeah, I think solo cast is gonna be the move here. So
okie dokie.
But
not a problem.
I appreciate you hopping on anyways, trying to save me. So
trying to save the day here.
Yeah. Well, thanks,
no worries. I'm just gonna stay here until it starts, just so like the fade out, because who knows how long we'll be waiting around, and then you don't have to just sit here in silence and talk to yourself.
For sure. I just still getting failed to join, so I'm still restarting. We'll get it figured out here pretty soon.
I believe in you, but you're kind of falling behind right now.
I know. This is. There's always some.
I swear, I'm the only person that remembers.
When someone casts.
I'm the only person that remembers that forum post. I swear.
Oh,
yeah. SirCallen, you're pretty good. Oh wait, now he's behind.
Yeah, that's a classic. That got turned into a pretty big joke pretty soon.
Yeah, that exploded pretty good. Maybe I'll go join Samu89's game with the UI 2.2 ESOC Bangle.
I like to see those maps, even if it's on RE.
Yeah. Plenty of people play them.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like objectively better maps. So.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, 80% of RE's maps are horrendous.
Yeah, and most of the time they don't even spawn fair, which is the biggest issue.
Yeah. Never understood why everyone loves Great Plains so much when 90% of the time you either get one hunt and one player gets 4, or you just it's ridiculous.
Like
Great Plains.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it. It's not even that good. Or you just have the guy who plays auto, rushes the middle TP every single time.
Yeah.
What's his name? Tsuyoshi 69 or whatever.
Yeah.
Plays it every single time.
And if he doesn't get it, he resigns at like 1 minute or something.
I was informed that Kaiser won 2-0 versus Tit.
Okay, so the winner of this series will go on to face Kaiser, and Ryan will be casting that, I believe. Not me. So
Mankey's gonna cast it.
Yeah, good old Mankle boy. The
water boy among us. Is he the waterman now? He's not the
Yep,
water boy?
he's graduated waterman now. He's got a nice career and whatnot. He's made something. So
Head of water treatment facilities in Illinois, where he lives.
Yeah, he lives in Chicago. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in the lobby waiting for them to start. Knuschelbär's locked Brit. I think Raphael's going to play Russia. We shall see.
Brit Rush is a fun matchup.
Yeah, it is.
I always like that one.
Pretty classic too. No TP map.
Yeah, because you got the economic potential of Brit with the trading efficiency of Russia.
Yeah.
And it sort of balances out in a way. Like, as long as you break even with Russia, you can help control the economic deficit you're going to be placed in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, pretty much what most of the game comes down to is Russia will try to contain Brits by doing forward-based blockhouses, and Brit either has to break that position, or else they just kind of get starved on the map. And so there are a few ways Brit tries to do that. Sometimes they try to age. I don't know if you can on this map. Sometimes they try to outplay around it by trying to do some cav raids. It can be a pretty dynamic matchup, but it has one central theme, and that's Russia tries to starve, Brit tries to break it. So
yeah, and usually Brit ends up making as many Hussars as they possibly can.
Yeah, Hussars are very good. Because, everyone knows that Russian musketeers are poor, stat-wise, which means they don't make for good anti-cavalry.
Everyone knows Ruskets are amazing versus Cav. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's, I guess that's what I should be saying as a British player.
They're basically goons.
Oh, yeah. Pushing an agenda. But especially because British have those 2 cavalry upgrades in H2. If they manage to get those in, like those Russian musketeers...
It's GG.
You might as well not even train them as Russia. You should just train more Cossacks with boyars. So
it was basically when Russia played Sioux with Eagle Mutt, and I believe LordRaphael again. I just my caster was asking me what he should do. I just said resign. Like, you should just. I don't know why he went into that matchup.
Yeah, Russia, I think that's a pretty Sioux favored matchup myself.
That's not even Sioux favored. It's just they're going to make axe riders, and that's really all you need to do.
Yeah, and like considering that Russia's best anti-cav are Cossacks, like Sioux also has bow riders in H2.
Exactly.
Yeah. But all right, so the game is greening up. So.
Alrighty. Good luck to everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for hopping in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here we are in game number 3, the final game of this best of 3. It's the semifinals of the Sup Cup 3. So I believe this is the last event before the playoffs, I think. Anyways, the series is tied 1-1 between Knuschelbär and LordRaphael. And this map is Brit versus Russia, with Knuschelbär playing the British player in the color green in the northwest, and in the southeast is LordRaphael in the color red, playing Russia. Real quick, we're going to do a map balance sort of thing. Both players have their starting thing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Russia starting 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, these are pretty good hunts for both players here. Brits are nice and centralized around his TC, but there's always the potential for either of these hunts to wander either way, and I mean, it looks like this one's wandering in already, so this map is pretty fair. Both players have the 1 mine behind their TC, and their next one's a little forward. So that out of the way, we can go into H1 scouting. Like I said, there are these sort of 4 clusters of 2 llamas each, and both players are picking up llamas of their own pretty quick. Raphael has scouted this 70 wood, which is super helpful for him. Oh, sorry, not super helpful, I guess. He's Russia, so he can't do anything with it in H1, but it's going to help speed up his blockhouse and sort of in transition a bit. Whereas Knuschelbär has elected to start with a market, so it looks like it was a coin start. And if we look at treasures gathered, Knuschelbär also got 40 coins, so I like to start with Knuschelbär. Basically, you get early hunting dogs, and with the coin treasure and the coin itself, you can mine like 20 coin, and then you get wood for a house when you sell it. So text completed. Yep, 111 hunting dogs, and he's already got that manor built. Oh, he built it out here. Didn't really see that. So great start for him. I like what he's done. And meanwhile, there's still 4 llamas out on the field. Knuschelbär got 60 food, so that's going to kind of make up for the idle time you would have from just kind of mining this coin. All in all, things are scraping out to be pretty even. 100 food for Russia. He's going to love that. It's going to mean no idle time whatsoever. So both players are going to have good age 1s to get them set up in age 2 and then transition pretty well. Let's look at decks real quick. Standard things across the board. One thing to note, there's 700 food in this deck. Sometimes you don't see that a lot on EP. It's kind of a more common shipment on RE because of the maps, but I don't think it's bad to have by any means, especially versus Russia. No 6 Muskin deck. Game paused by Raphael. Perfect time to check. Oh, you can't check decks when it's paused. Unless you do this. Look at me. Fancy. So, standard deck, excuse me, for Russia. Your distributivism, probably going to be his first card. 5-4 Cossack, 13 Strelets, Boyars. In age 3, there's no 6 Opries, but that's okay. It's not like a necessary card, although I like having it. Just 1k food is his only crate shipment there. The church card will be important to see as well. Fencing school, just another kind of standard Russian card. Only refrigeration is the only eco card, and eco theory. Knuschelbär only has exotic hardwoods as his eco card. So these are pretty 1v1 geared decks. There's not really any late game potential. But why would you expect this to go late game? It should be decided like around 12 minutes or something. 12 or 15 minutes. Britt actually has pretty decent hunts here, so we could actually potentially use enough hunts to age up if he wants to try. But I think aging is really risky versus Raphael. I think he's got a keen nose for that sort of thing. I'm actually going to turn my mic up a bit now that I'm not with Punisher. Hopefully you guys aren't like cranking up your systems to hear me or something. Sometimes my levels are a little strange. But okay, I didn't really pay attention to age up times like I should have. I'm just assuming Knuschelbär hit that 2:45 kind of British time. Yeah, I mean he's 16 bells with the 1 manor, so now he's 17 with the 2nd manor. That's definitely on age with Brit. And oh, he sees the 2 forward blockhouse villagers. So this is really risky, but sometimes I've done it. If you kind of know he's gonna send a forward blockhouse, if you mine the 150 coin and the 150 food, and you get ready to send them, it's possible to kill these 2 villagers before this even goes up. But if the other player thinks that might happen, they could use their explorer, kind of like how Raphael is, to just like make sure that the Minutemen aren't coming. And the explorer can snare the Minutemen and avoid that altogether, and then British would have wasted their Minutemen that they could have used in a rush. So it's very high risk, high reward sort of thing. Understandably so that you don't go for it in this sort of high stakes game. Anyways, Knuschelbär deciding to age with the tower and the 200 coin, and is laying down a stable. I think it's going to be difficult for him to get 5 Hussars out, just because Brit kind of spends a lot of villager seconds in the early game building manors. They only get 200 coin from their age up, which is not like a lot of resources. And they ship 700 wood first, which they also spend more villager seconds collecting and building more things. So likely he's not going to get he's not even gonna get 5 Hussars out, especially because he also has this market up. Meanwhile, Raphael ships 5 Cossacks and makes 5 Musketeers, so this is like sort of a lot to handle at 5 minutes with Brit, even with this outpost. And kind of, I kind of like this. He's trying to use his llama as sort of a natural wall, and mostly he's just trying not to die. I would focus the TC and the outpost on these Musketeers, just because they're gonna. Oh, and he loses a villager. The Hussars are going to trade better with the Cossacks and the Musketeers. Plus, the TC fire can whittle away these Musketeers super quick. And like I said, he only gets 3 Hussars out, which is not a lot, and he spent all of this time getting idled, and suddenly, like, this kind of little force from Russia managed to do a whole lot. He's stacking 450 wood. He collected all that 700 wood, but it was while Russia's pushing, and so he couldn't actually build any of the manors with it. This is like such an awkward spot for Brett. I've been here lots of times because he's also just now laying his barracks down. I mean, he only has 3 Hussars and just 1 in queue. So, I mean, it's just kind of awkward. But by no means is the game over. He also has like 6 yak that he got, which is going to be nice for him. He can eat those for some sort of timing, and he's going to try to raid with his SARs, but I mean, it's going to be a bit until his 5 Musketeers are out, and Raph shipped more Cossacks, so put it in. And I mean, like these villagers are vulnerable. Like, one's going to die due to pathing for sure. I mean, is he going to call Minutemen? He's got to call Minutemen here or something. He doesn't have the resources. He doesn't have the resources. He's pulling back his other Hussars, but I mean, a 2 longbow batch, like, this is so awkward. He's gonna be able to push him back, but he's got how many villagers in here idle? Like 15 or 20. Like, I mean, meanwhile, let's look at text completed. Raphael's got steel traps. He's got hunting dogs. Knuschelbär also has steel traps. This is good, but the next thing I think that's on Raphael's bucket list is he wants to add in a second blockhouse here, just to formidify his position, and I would predict that 700 wood is on its way. Meanwhile, he's going to pick off this manor. Here comes 700 wood in base, and these 7 Hussars are going to try to raid. But Raphael kind of has like a sense of this. He's already splitting off some Cossacks. This is great preemptive play from him. And meanwhile, he gets this manor house down. So, and he left a batch of 5 muskets here to help in this fight, because he knows that there are more Hussars out than he has Cossacks to deal with, and he's placed them over the only vulnerable place where he's gathering resources. So this is just really nice play from Raphael. Pretty decent micro from Knusch, but he just kind of took a fight that he couldn't win in the first place. So he's backing off here. And yeah, so now Russia's in a really nice spot. He's repaired his blockhouse that Green must have spent a long time sieging while it's being built. He's adding in a stable. He's adding in a second blockhouse. Meanwhile, what does Brit have? They've trained another batch of longbowmen, another batch of musketeers, 600 wood now, so he's going to get another barracks, just sort of more infrastructure, more manors. But it's it feels late for Brit, because how is he ever going to push himself into this position? He tried raiding, which is a good thing to do. You kind of want to try to raid Russia before they can put up a stable, but it just wasn't effective like we saw. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I would much rather be in Russia's position here than Brits. I think maybe with like enough longbows and like some walls, Brit could like try to age and like gain a tempo play that way, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel like enough. Brit does have a card on the way. I'd like to see 700 coin to just kind of mass Hussars. He's eating his llama, so I think he's going for some sort of critical mass timing. I mean, Brit doesn't have like the best economy. Like it's 32 to 29. He's only on 70 mana pop. He's definitely gearing up for. He needs to gear for critical mass timing, but he has a lot of ground to make up. He's got half the military population of Russia, and he's going to get housed unless he market trades for some things. And all of his villagers on food leads me to believe that 700 coin is on its way, but he's going to get housed. Then what? So I mean, he's trying to chop here. 700 coin comes. I mean, just look at this mass. I mean, so now Russia's gathering kind of out, and Knuschelbär sending one Hussar. It's half HP. I don't know if he's scouting or if he wants to try to raid. Villagers are going to DPS this Hussar down before it gets anything done, and he's going to pick off another manor. I mean, now Knuschelbär is like really popped. I think, does he want to just age? Is that why he's not trying to get any manors? I think if you want to age, you have to raid with all your Hussars. You have to really distract the Russian player, or else he's just going to siege everything down. He's doing a nice job using his longbow's range and backing off before too much can be done. But he got all this coin, and he must have spent it on some Hussars, because I think he had enough resources to click up like kind of right now. So yeah, so I mean, this Hussar's dead. I think Raphael is trying to. Oh yeah, he could have done that a lot better, Raphael, and he still saved the villager. So yeah, Raphael's in a pretty good spot. So what I was saying is, Knuschelbär shipped the coin and he ate all those yaks. He had enough resources to age. I mean, he could still market trade this and like age. What if he had aged and like instead of a manor house, you just built a second outpost? Like would that be bad or would it be good? Because I mean, when he ages, he gets 2 falcons, and he can just keep making musketeers get veterancy on him. And if he protects the 2 falcons, he's in a pretty good spot. But I don't know. I'm just trying to think, what can Brit do? Because he's got hunt, but I don't see this hunt being enough to break this position. I mean, Boyars is in. Russia, and 2 blockhouses, a stable. Russia is sitting pretty, man. Sitting really pretty. Cav HP now, the first upgrade card comes out for Brit. Cav HP is good, but it's just, against Boyard Cossacks, like, it's just not enough. The nice thing is, he still has Minutemen available. We'll see if Raphael commits. If he can get, like, Great Coat on his villagers and kind of get them involved in this fight, and if Raphael commits, it could be good. But Minutemen popping out the wrong side of the town center. The Strellas are getting chased away. They're completely out of the fight. But, I mean, is it enough? I mean, it might just be, I mean, these Strellas are not doing anything. This has actually been a pretty good trade for Knuschelbär. A great trade, even. But he doesn't have enough to snare. Raphael can still just run away. And there's still like enough Strellas here to be a nuisance, but he's still just going to run away. I mean, these Russian musketeers are just so much worse than the British, even without any cards on these British musketeers. And these Minutemen add a lot of DPS too, so I think it's smart that Raphael kind of runs away there. It's questionable whether he should have. I mean, it's a tough area to commit, so he just it was sort of an awkward encounter for Raphael, where he just kind of had to retreat, and as a result, Brit took a pretty good trade, and now he can try to push these blockhouses, but it's still difficult pushing these blockhouses. He shipped 6 Minutemen. Oh, nice catch for Knuschelbär. The Strelats pop right into the musketeers. I still don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, there's just so many instant reinforcements here for Russia. The 6 longbowmen are still back, but I just don't think that Brit can push this. 700 coin comes in for Raphael at his blockhouse. That's huge. I don't think Knuschelbär realized it though. Minutemen coming for Raphael to join the fight for what could have been a game-deciding fight. So good call there. He's putting 5 villagers here. He wants to collect this ASAP before Green's army can get here, and it's going to be pretty close. But I mean, he's just going to be pump out so many musketeers and so many Cossacks with that. Once he gets some housing down, he's only got 2 population left. Still no more upgrade cards for the British player, and what he has done is he's managed to get himself a little more space. He's a little bit more on the map. He's still training units. This is what I mean. Like he can't ever realistically ever break this blockhouse unless he's up in age and has 2 Falcons. So he just has to just sort of play around the map. He has to stick on his resources, which is it's very passive. It's not like you're not doing anything. You're not on the map making anything happen. You're just sort of hoping your economy will carry you away. But he's only on 160 mana pop now. I mean, he hasn't had like a real big boom. Musketeer attack comes in though. I like to see these upgrade cards come in for the British player, but it's difficult to say who has the better H2 army compositionally and technology wise with the upgrade cards in H2, British or Russia. Just because Boyars is such a good card. Boyard Cossacks are such good units. Boyard Strelis just still kind of wreck double-carded colonial British musketeers. And I mean, what is Brit going to do? How is Brit going to break this? Are they going to push to resources instead? Raphael is doing a very, very nice move, separating 2 Cossacks. Nice villager pull, whether intentional or accidental. He's going to save the 1 villager. Oh, wow, but more raids going on there. And Knuschelbär is sort of getting ran around the map, but, you know, not for nothing. He recognizes this and he goes straight for the blockhouse. He's going to pick off 3 villagers of his own. And these Hussars are going to catch these Cossacks. Who wins this fight? I think the Boyard Cossacks fight. He's got to get these villagers involved again. A few more reinforcements coming in. 1 blockhouse goes down. The second does too. There's no blockhouse yet up for Raphael. He's building the one now. Oh, he was aging. That's what was going on. He was aging and buying himself some time, but as a result, he loses his entire forward base. Oh, Knuschelbär moves his cab before these Cossacks are cleaned up, and as a result, he's going to lose 2 more, maybe 2 more villagers. Oh, but he scouts these villagers, and he's already separating musketeers off. I'd like to see him separate this Hussar and bring it back here. All these villagers are super exposed, and aging was kind of questionable for Russia now because, I mean, all of these villagers are exposed too, and he's down in military, and what does veterancy give him? Sure, it gives him better units, but British is British is not in the economic lead. I just assumed British was in the economic lead, but I guess he lost more villagers than I thought. And actually, I guess Russia, despite having no map, is in a decent position, assuming they don't lose too much, which they might. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If Brit loses his army, he loses. But, I mean, look at this. Look at these raids. Knuschelbär just has to go back. 2 Falcons are in play. Are they going to get a volley off? 1 shot. Took down 1 musketeer. I think Knuschelbär just has to go just back. He just has to go back. But, I mean, Raphael, he has some resources, but I don't know. I guess the economies are kind of even. I don't know who I'd rather be in this position. I just don't. A couple of SARs coming in here. Are they just going to try to pick off a couple of low HP bills? Oh, it's awfully tough to try to click here. There's so many things going on. He's just going to siege this house. It's risky. It's risky. Oh, just go back. Go back. Go back. Oh, he's going back. Is he going to age himself? I think it's too late. I mean, Brit. Oh, no. Okay, only 3 Huss die. That could have been worse. Still, 3 Huss, you don't want to lose those right now. I mean, look at this Strellet mess. Oh, look at this out of position. I guess he wasn't too bad. Is he debating him? That could have been a debate. I don't know. Ooh, more raids. I like this from Nush. Oh, look at all those low HP villagers. Very nice indeed. Oh, there's so many things going on the map. He gets 2 villagers there, but he's going to lose 10 musketeers. He can't afford to lose army. I mean, he needs everything right now. Alright, some melee musketeers are going to try to get on there. Can he get a flank going? He needs to get a flank. Those are going to die. That's not really too important. Oh, the longbows are too late, but there's a lot of hussar here. All these musketeers go on melee, just trying to save the 2 falcons. He's put all the musketeers in melee. That was an accident. The longbows are coming in. They could snipe the falcons. He needs more hussars. The British player needs more hussars. These falcons are staying alive for way too long. Wasn't the greatest volley there, just killing 1 longbow, but back on the longbows. Longbows are very low HP. They're gonna get killed by falcons very easy. But it's finally the second falcon goes down. He is gonna clean this up, but there's nothing to snare. Perhaps Raphael can make it away with enough units to do something with, but I don't know. I mean, Boyard, veteran, Strelitz might be enough to get him back into this game, but he just has no places to gather. And on his way to these 3 dead animals, he's going to walk over the dead explorer, and just unfortunate, these 3 villagers are going to be scouted while they're trying to get this blockhouse up. Smart play by Knuschelbär. I mean, he knows that this is sort of what Raphael needs to gather on, and 20 Strelitz coming in now. It shows 17 on the UI, but it's 20 in EP. And actually, like, I mean, this is so many Strelitz, like, these longbows can't do really much about it. And he's going to chase down this army. Longbows can't kite, so now they're just stuck here and they're all dead. So Raphael back with the military lead, but great raids coming from Knuschelbär again. I mean, he's going to find all these villagers. These hussars aren't veteran, but there's, I mean, I don't know if he can really fight these down. He doesn't really have a choice. He's got to run too far. And there are no units in the vicinity. He just can't fight these down. Those villagers are going to die. And so right now, Raphael is sort of relying on his military elite. The fact that these Strelitz are going to trade so well with these musketeers, despite all the upgrades on them. More longbows being trained. I think that the key to Brit's victory here is just to mass hussars. Nice little play here. Picking up the Explorer, that's going to be a nice tank. More importantly, probably just like a scouting unit to see where Raphael's gathering. Meanwhile, this is what I was talking about earlier. Raphael is so good at chasing units down, getting these sort of cheeky volleys off, and he's probably killed tons of musketeers so far. Like, I mean, these Strelitz just DPS down these colonial musketeers so much, and he's losing some hussars for free here. I don't think he's enough to take this fight. Maybe he does. I mean, these musketeers, even veteran, are just not that great. He's got to pull back hussars. Does a nice job with that. Bring him back to the fight. Oh, very nice job targeting the Russian musketeers, but 10 more coming in for reinforcements. I mean, Russia doesn't have the greatest economy, but their units are very cheap, very cost efficient at this point, and there's no hussar. So no hussar on the field means that these Strelitz can't be challenged. I mean, the longbows, I guess, trade roughly well, but not well enough, and Knuschelbär has lost his presence on the map, while Cossacks come out and Raphael's converging here. I mean, he recognizes this has to be one of the spots where Knuschelbär is gathering. The question is, can Knuschelbär, with these hussars and with these villagers, no breakcoat on him yet, can he somehow take a fight that just crushes this army? He has to kill the army of Raphael, or else I don't think he's going to win. Manages to push back this army for the time being. Only loses a few villagers. Decides to fight. Raphael is trying to pick off a villager here, and he just needs more snaring hussar. But they're dying to these musketeers. Meanwhile, what's going on? 6 Opries here. Did they kill villagers? I didn't see. They're looking for more. There's 1 hussar left to snare. It's going to go down, but that was a pretty good trade for Knuschelbär. Killing a few villagers here. Is it that important at this stage? I don't know. I mean, I guess all villagers are important, so you do want to save those. A mill coming down in base for Knuschelbär. Some idle units here by Raphael. I don't know if he recognizes that. Raphael is still on natural resources. That's one of the things he is going from, despite having the less economy. But even with the lesser economy, he's got the better units, efficiency-wise, you know, trading-wise, and that's coming into play here. But he just hasn't been able to mass enough to deal with British's superior economy. Now, 700 food coming down, 21 minutes, a surprisingly good card. I mean, he's going to really like that food. I'm assuming he ate it. Yeah, 24 minutes. So some more raids coming down. A low HP villager to pick off there if he gets there. Oh, but these Hussars... Okay, nice. They don't get caught by the Cossacks. They would lose that fight. These Cossacks are veteran. He's upgraded them. I think that this addition to his composition is going to be very helpful. There's a lot of longbows here. But, oh, the Hussars right onto the Strelets. Even though these are veteran and boyar, they still died to cav extremely fast. Musketeers are going to want to get on the Cossacks. Raphael doing a nice job getting his villagers involved to try to tank. More Strelets getting involved. How many Cossacks are going to be alive? There's still some Cossacks alive. Oh, and a batch of 5 reinforcing come to kill these longbows. There's 5 Hussars come, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Look at all these Strelets alive. All these boyar units are just so efficient right now. And I think he's going to clean this up. One of these Hussars is kind of out of position here. The thing is, longbows do kill cavalry units much better than Strelets kill cavalry units, but I mean, I like this play a lot. He's just getting his villagers involved, and I mean, these longbows are dead. I mean, what do you do here? Just, if you sack them to kill like 2 or 3 villagers, you just have no military. You're dead either way. So this was kind of like the deciding fight, and Raphael took it. I mean, despite getting raided and his economy being less good, I mean, being up in age, having these units that just trade so well, he was finally able to mass enough to get that game-winning fight versus Knusch. And yeah, this looks to be a pretty good victory here for LordRaphael at the moment. He ships 5 cavalry archers, which are really going to help with these Hussar that I assume are going to try and raid. Or no, they're just going to join the fight here, but I mean, there's no reason. This is going to get cleaned up by Raphael pretty easy. So there's not much to do. I mean, just like Brit is on mills. They've had to sacrifice all those resources. I mean, these Strelets are just so good at this point. More Cossacks. I expect this is going to be GG now, but what an exciting game. What a finish to the series. I mean, that game was super back and forth the whole way. But I think what just did is, I mean, Brit just could never get up to age 3, and once Russia stabilized in age 3, he could just carry it from there. And yeah, more units coming out for Russia now. He's going on all cylinders. And now there's no military out for Knuschelbär whatsoever. He's not aging or anything, so. There's just, I mean, 7 longbows is not going to do it. I mean, punching villagers is not going to do it, but I understand that it's the semifinals. You want to give it your best go. You want to try everything. You know, he doesn't know how many villagers he killed. Raphael could be on 12, but that's GG. He calls it, and Raphael takes the series 2-1. And what a great game to end on. That was really exciting. Lots of stuff going on all across the map. Dynamic game, you know, people losing villagers all over the place. This is where it got kind of scary for Raphael, around 21 minutes. But the thing is, Knusch just didn't have that military advantage at that time to capitalize, and eventually just the trades. I mean, we see these trades are so efficient for Russia because, I mean, Russia is using population too, but this population is cheap, so it doesn't really mean as much as when British lose population. It's expensive. So, just what a great game, all in all. What a great series. Thanks to the players. Best of luck to Raph in the finals. Thank you to Knuschelbär for playing a good game. And I believe I hand over this